Human design for a family. I'm I have quite an individual design, so I don't usually maybe pick up topics like this, but it is true. Human design shows the mechanics of what actually happens or the potential of what possibly can happen in relationships. And one of the first things that people discover when they're looking at their charts and then at charts of the people with whom they spend half of their life or all their childhood or somehow lived in the same environment, they get so many confirmations. Oh, this is why it didn't work, or this why that's why I felt so irritated, or oh, this is now I see why that person said certain things or behaved in a certain way. So before, previously, I made a video about composite. You can also look and understand exactly from the composite video how one human design chart can relate to the other human design chart. This video is a bit more general. So what I wanted to say is that using our charts, we can see the dynamic of what actually happens, what what kind of mind do parents have, and based on this mind we can see what expectations they would normally have from the people who surround them, and what those expectations become of their children. Then we can see the design of the child, and we can see maybe the child conditions the parent with their emotional wave, which becomes a bit unbearable for the parent, and the parent is actually more stimulated and more emotional in the presence of the child who has the willpower. And is it correct for you to set an example, for example, of a willpower in front of your child who has an ego open? um, is it correct for you to expect certain things, certain behaviors of from your partner or your child or anybody in your environment? You can see where uh, what your mechanics look like, and then what expectation your mechanics, in terms of what does it feel like when it's cooperating with another person. And then you can see what are the centers, what are the channels of the other person, how do they stimulate you, or and what is the general dynamic of that energy. So that's why you can feel, oh, that's why there is so much attraction, or I understand why there is so much irritation, or why we are so emotional in front of each other. For me personally, I understood why I attracted men with a certain design, because my mother had certain gates and certain channels that I do not have, and I have been conditioned to experience love that way. That was the imprint of love for me. So I was quite shocked to see that my first partners in life that I thought I chose to stay with them, they had a similar imprint. And in their presence, I felt this sensation, which was associated with this is love, and that was just a certain electromagnetic connection that made me feel stimulated, and I would recognize this, that this feels familiar, this is how I experienced love. It was quite a shock when I was able to see it so much mechanically. It is true, a lot of things that we try to present romantically, or we try to present in some mm, emotional sense, trying to explain with some stories, it has a very mechanical background to it. There are certain things that we're addicted to. There are certain things that stimulate our mind to think in a certain way. Uh, Certain types are designed to give more attention than the others. So that's why in the presence of certain people, we just like, we don't feel like, you know, they're focused on us or their energy is focused on us. And that's just how their design is. And if we have certain conditioning from childhood that we want somebody's focusing on us, like, not we want, but we are used to it, we are just automatically maybe trying to identify and feel it from the partner. Human design is a is a very, very good tool to look at what really happens, in what dynamic happens, and to escape certain illusions, to escape blame. And so I encourage you to know your design and to know the design of those who surround you. I hope this information was helpful.